However, as the time passed and Teresa didn't stop by, her mother grew concerned. She tried to phone the house, but there was no answer. Hoping that her daughter was called in earlier than her scheduled shift, Betty decided to stop by the house to make sure everything was okay. Located on the living room floor was her body. From the number of visible injuries and blood, Betty knew her daughter was gone. They were unclear of what the motive behind her attack could be. They believed Teresa's attacker made their way into her house, but were uncertain of how this was accomplished, since no signs of a break-in were present. Teresa's murder caused concern for those in the area, with her next-door neighbor stating her death freaked her out and made her want to move, claiming the neighborhood where she lived is a nice neighborhood. She explained it's something you wouldn't think could possibly happen in a neighborhood such as theirs. After expanding the search beyond the scene and into the neighborhood, police lacked the answer to the lingering question: who could do such a horrendous thing? Teresa's body was transported to the morgue for an autopsy, where it was determined her cause of death was due to multiple stab wounds and abrasions on her neck. The wounds on her neck were deep, nearly to the point of decapitation. On her hands and forearms were defensive wounds from trying to fight off her attacker. They determined her time of death was around 3:30 p.m. Her family members were also interviewed for potential leads or suspects, and no one could think of anyone who would want to hurt Teresa. Betty believed she was the last one to speak to Teresa and felt that by the time she arrived to the home to check on her, any outside evidence was washed away by the continuous rainfall the day she died. One of her sisters added to the statement that in the past, Teresa did mention a creepy neighbor that would randomly show up at her house.